Assalamu alaikum guys. Welcome back to my channel. So, kamar yadda kuka sani every weekend ina ƙoƙarin yin analysis akan pairs ɗin da nake trading, kamar weekly outlook kenan ko kuma new week open analysis kenan, wacce a nan zan yi determining abin da nake expecting coming into the new week da za mu shiga. So kamar yadda kuka sani ina trading ɗin Euro USD, BTC and gold. So usually ina fara analysis ɗina ne akan DXY saboda shine base currency nasu. And idan ka san direction ɗin DXY, usually za ka yi correlating ɗin shi da other US based pairs idan kana trading ɗinsu. So kamar yadda na gaya muku last week weekly outlook video ɗina, wannan DXY ne, sannan na ce muku draw on liquidity ɗina shine wannan, although long term ina expecting there's possibility for price to drop again further, but then for now I'm expecting to see price ya zo cikin wannan fair value gap ɗin nan, mu ga yadda zai yi reacting ko kuma mu ga yadda zai yi reacting a wajen nan. If it's going to respect wannan, to zai iya respecting ɗin shi don mu continue to the downside. Kamar yadda kuka gani accumulation ne a wajen nan, manipulation then drop. So abin da nake expecting the same thing a wajen nan, accumulation, manipulation then drop. So tunda wannan monthly time frame ne, ba zan zauna bane in jira har sai price ya zo nan kafin in fara neman sell ba ko nan wajen. So I'm going to trade it kamar counter trade kenan har price ya zo wajen nan. So like I told you last week, mun samu price ya yi sweeping ɗin previous year low, sannan ya bamu pullback into the range, sannan aka samu break of structure to the upside kenan, ko kuma in ce change of character kenan. Then price sai ya ƙara dawowa ya mitigating wa'annan gap ɗin, then now price is actually pushing. Last week da muka yi analyzing, wannan candle ɗin bai riga ya buɗe ba because this is a new month candle kenan, which is this current month da muke ciki, the month of June kenan. So the price ya buɗe already an yi mitigating wannan gap ɗin, and then price started pushing to the upside on the monthly time frame kenan. So when we go to the weekly time frame, analysis ɗin is going to be a little bit fast tunda changes kaɗan aka samu from last week to this week, although mun samu very aggressive bullish candle kamar yadda na yi expecting from last week, and na faɗi muku I'm expecting a bullish up close candle coming into this week. So wannan gap ne wanda aka yi mitigating ɗin shi from the monthly time frame, and za ku ga cewa dama already muna da break of structure a wajen nan, ko kuma in ce a change of character ko shift in market structure a wajen nan already. So price ya zo ya yi mitigating ɗinsa, sannan kuma on the weekly perspective I called your attention to this area. Na ce muku already price ya kulle above wajen nan, ya bamu change of character. Wajen nan ya bamu change of character from the range, from this high to this low. This is a change and shift in market structure. Sai ya bar wannan imbalance ɗin ko fair value gap, sannan kamar yadda kuka gani price ya dawo ya yi mitigating ɗinsa wancan week ɗin kenan, ba last week ba, wancan week ɗin, because this is the last week candle. So last week candle yanzu ya kulle above this area with a strong bullish momentum due to NFP, because NFP week muka fito, kun ga inda price ya yi ya kulle strongly bullish after sweeping the low of this candle kenan. Sannan going down to the daily time frame, kamar yadda na ce muku analysis ɗin nan is going to be somehow fast haka nan, saboda we are just going to continue the build from last week. Last week ne muka yi fresh analysis, but then this week is just like a continuation of what happened last week. So idan baka kalla last week open analysis ba, it will also be good a ce ka je ka kalle shi, saboda it's where the build up starts. So this is what happened last week gaba ɗaya from nan area ɗin, I think, yeah, from nan area ɗin, because this is first ko, yeah, 1st of June, and this is how the price delivered. Mun samu break of structure a wajen nan, mun kulle da break of structure after the mitigation of this fair value gap, and price came back to close this wannan imbalance ɗin da muka samu. I think on Wednesday, the close of Tuesday and the Wednesday ya bada huge gap, then price sai ya zo Thursday mitigating ɗin shi, and Friday swept the low of Thursday sai ya bamu displacement. So wanga it's a huge displacement on Monday kenan because of the NFP week. So usually abin da ke faruwa idan muka samu NFP yayi tafiya sosai sosai hakan nan with momentum, to gaskiya next week ɗin da za a shiga, saboda CPI week ne, akwai fundamentals da yawa next week which includes CPI and PPI, I think. So ni abin da nake expecting next week zai yi is either next week is going to some kind of consolidate hakan nan, then maybe the week after sai a samu displacement, or next week zai yi pullback ne, za a samu deeper retracement. Abin da ni personally nake expecting next week, I'm expecting a deeper retracement for price to mitigate this area. Although our daily time frame it may not make sense, but I think our 4-hour time frame will make sense. I want to see how price will come back to around this area. Gaskiya, saboda there is no way NFP zai pushing price hakan nan and price will just continue. So I want to see how price will come back to at least 50% of this NFP range, NFP candle, then align bullish for continuation, because I'm also watching this area to be my demand zone kenan, some form of demand zone hakan nan. So ina kallon yadda price zai dawo cikin area ɗin nan next week kenan, NFP week, because I'm expecting if possible I'm expecting an open high low close weekly candle next week. But then it will all determine, right? It will all determine next week then how Monday close. I want to see a bearish Monday coming to mitigate this area. Idan muna da momentum next week, za ka iya ganin bearish Monday and maybe Tuesday to mitigate this area, then Wednesday, Thursday will push to the upside, using this as our draw on liquidity for next week. But bana expecting naga next week yayi continue like bullish hakan nan. The best case scenario is to see a pullback into this area for continuation, bullish continuation. Let's go down to 4-hour time frame to also see what is happening. Kamar yadda na gaya muku, you see it kind of makes sense for price to come back to either this breaker block a wajen nan, because there's a breaker block a nan wajen, ko kuma price ya dawo ma wannan demand zone ɗin. But in whichever case, I just want to see how price will come back to this area, cikin area ɗin nan ko wajen zone ɗin nan ko wa'annan area ɗin, there's a BPR a wajen nan, just for price to like align bullish in for continuation. This will allow me na ƙara positions ko kuma na neman entry a Euro USD kenan idan price ya zo around this area, right? Because I want to see this low hold for next week. So this is my take on dollar index going into next week. On Euro USD monthly time frame, it is also like similar or the same thing. Kamar yadda muka yi analyzing last week, na gaya muku price ya yi mitigating wannan supply zone ɗin nan, and I'm looking to see how price will come back into this inefficiency ko kuma in ce imbalance on the monthly time frame kenan perspective. And kun ga yadda price ya yi sweeping liquidity from the monthly time frame. So the next stop is to see how price come into this fair value gap. On the weekly perspective kuma, it's almost the same thing ko kuma in ce similar. Yacce price after sweeping wannan liquidity ɗin sama kuma we are expecting bearish price action. Price ya bada change of character a wajen nan. On the weekly time frame, price ya bada wannan change of character, and normally kun san idan price ya bada change of character, za ka nema me model 1 ɗinka ne, which is CISD is very very like low a wajen nan, baya cikin premium price. So za ka yi paying attention ne to wannan area ɗin nan, which is your QM. ko kuma fair value gap, which is your model 2, ko kuma inversion fair value gap, because there is an inversion fair value gap a wajen nan. But gaba ɗaya area ɗin nan, I think what we used last week was the OTE zone, and this was what was on the OTE zone. Price is way mitigating ɗin shi and drop ya bamu wannan area ɗin. So this was the area we were paying attention to last week. Yacce na gaya muku an samu me CRT formation a wajen nan, price ya zo ya mitigating wannan imbalance ɗin da wannan supply zone ɗin, sai ya kulle haka. And I told you last week cewa ina expecting wancan upper week ɗin nan, that was on Saturday da nayi top down analysis, weekly outlook video ɗin nan, na ce muku I'm expecting last week to be a bearish candle, and you can see it's dropped aggressively, leaving this area as our new supply zone kenan, wannan area ɗin as our new supply area. So abinda nake expecting coming into next week kenan, just like on DXY, ina so na ga yanda price zai yi like pull back to this area, mitigating ya aligning bearish for continuation, saboda this was my draw on liquidity overall on the weekly perspective. And kun ga yanda last week yayi dropping aggressively, so kamar yacce kuka sani in dai price yayi dropping aggressively, abinda ake yawan samu shine me za a samu pullback ko kuma retracement for what continuation, dan price ba zai ci gaba da dropping aggressively hakan nan ba. So what I'm expecting going into next week is either price yayi consolidating haka, yayi consolidating sai yayi ban power of 3 manipulation, sai yayi aligning bearish for what continuation. This is the best profile da nake expecting going into next week. I want to see how Monday close as a what bullish candle, Tuesday maybe Tuesday consolidate, Monday, Tuesday consolidate, then Wednesday manipulate and tap into the supply zone, then Thursday, Friday maybe mu samu displacement. But in whichever case, I want to see how price come back to above 50% in wannan region if it's possible. Then if you also check on its daily time frame, zaka ga yayi making sense. Price ya bar mana wannan area ɗin as the last supply zone, wanda price yayi creating on Thursday kenan. So I want to see how Monday, Tuesday behave, if it is possible haka, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to see how price is, if price is going to continue to the downside. With everything that is happening geopolitically, dama ka iya samun consolidation gaba ɗaya next week a wajen nan, then upper week ayi manipulation for continue to the downside. But in whichever case, I want to see how price come back to mitigate this area before it's continue to the downside. Also on the 4-hour time frame, kun ga yayi aligning the same thing, although bana expecting naga price ya dawo, like price can really like go as deep as into this area, because this is the area I'm focusing on. Kun gani an samu me, an samu internal break of structure, sannan an samu major break of structure kuma to the upside. Kun gani after price yayi aligning bearish and everything, you can see how we had this internal change of character and external change of character. So this is more reason for price to like come into at least this zone haka ne, mitigating area ɗin nan before it's continuing to the downside. So what I want to see is how Monday closes. I want to see, preferably see Monday close as a bearish candle, also Tuesday, then maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to see how market is going to switch towards the downside. So next week is going to be some kind of strange week hakan nan, dan bayan da za a yi a samu irin wannan momentum to the downside kuma a ce kawai an ci gaba da pushing, dole sai smart money sun yi mitigating ɗin wannan ɗinsu position ɗinsu for what continuation to the downside if it's possible. On gold also similar on gold. Let's see kamar yacce kuka gani gold monthly time frame, this is what I told you I'm looking for. This is the all-time high, and this is my draw on liquidity. If the geopolitical events continue on the Middle East, I want to see how price maybe gravitates into this area on the monthly perspective kenan. So on the weekly also, like I told you, price ya dawo ya yi mitigating wannan area ɗin, wannan resistance ɗin. Price ya yi mitigating ɗinsa, sannan me yayi aligning bearish, and ever since then price yana ta dropping to the downside. And also you can see how price came back and sweep this high of wancan 3 weeks high ya bamu CRT. And na gaya muku last week I was expecting a bearish candle, although not as momentum as this, but then it is what it is saboda NFP. Price delivers and take out the low of the CRT I called last week. Now I'm expecting a continuation on gold. I'm expecting continuation for price to take out this low, but preferably plus zai ɗan pull back for bearish continuation. Not very clean on the weekly time frame, but idan kuka duba daily time frame za ku ga cewa it absolutely make sense. So ga CRT high ɗin da price yayi taking out, which is the CRT high, and price has been dropping ever since. So yanzu ga last week price on Thursday kenan, price ya bamu supply zone ɗin nan, ya bamu wannan area ɗin as a supply zone. So I'm just looking out for this area to see how price will come back to mitigate this area for bearish continuation, saboda ko da kun yi marking ɗinsa za ku ga ya making sense da OTE zone namu. Ya bamu OTE level, kun gani yayi aligning daidai da OTE zone, and you know that I trade OTE zones. So I want to see how price will come back to this area, because on a realistic time next week zai iya zama gaba ɗaya consolidation ne, and if price decided to move za ku iya ganin wani abu hakan nan, then power of 3, then price will align bearish for continuation accumulation. Early next week za a iya samun accumulation, then midweek haka nan za mu iya samun midweek reversal Wednesday or Thursday to manipulate, then continue to the downside. This is what I'm also looking at. Gaba ɗaya pattern ɗin is almost the same, both on gold, euro, USD, and DXY, and you can also see it as in 4-hour time frame, very clean. So I want to see how price will take out this level, this fair value gap, and then align bearish for continuation to the downside. Very like clean. So price also ya bamu internal break of structure da external break of structure. So for price to take out this major liquidity, I want to see how it's come back to mitigate this area. I know some people za su yi ƙoƙarin kama wannan buys into this area, but then it's not very advisable. Just wait for price to come back to this supply zone, then align bearish for continuation. That's the best case scenario for you, unless you trade lower time frame. BTC has not been giving me a good price action because it has just been dropping one way. Kamar yadda na yi anticipating a higher time frame cewa BTC zai yi dropping, BTC has just been dropping aggressively without giving me any form of entry ko kuma opportunity na taking trade. So kamar yadda kuka sani na gaya muku BTC ya yi respecting wannan zone ɗin ya yi dropping, tapping into this resistance also that aligns with this fair value gap. If you watch the previous video, you will know that this also makes sense. Sannan ya bamu wannan CRT formation, candle range theory formation ɗin from last week. Price ya riga ya mitigating wannan area ɗin, na nuna muku cewa I'm expecting a bearish weekly candle this week, but price bai bamu entry ba gaba ɗaya last week kenan. Price ya mitigating wannan fair value gap ɗin, muna neman entry ne around this area, but then it refused to just give us entry, and it has just been dropping. And yanzu ga price ya yi taking ɗin draw on liquidity namu da muke expecting. Kamar yadda kuka gani price ya yi breaking, ya yi change of character a wajen nan, and this is the last break of structure. The last break of structure kenan price ya bamu, sai ya yi dropping aggressively. So now dama nan ne entry ɗin. This was what I was looking for, we looking at last week, yanda price zai dawo ya mitigating wannan supply zone ɗin, saboda nan wajen liquidity ne price ya yi taking ɗin shi out, ya yi mitigating ya bamu lower time frame confirmation mai selling mu kama wannan sell ɗin, but kun ga bai dawo cikin area ɗin ba and it just sold aggressively and now it is playing within this area. So what I'm expecting yanzu ga for continuation bearish is this fair value gap. I'm now like paying attention to wannan fair value gap ɗin yanzu nan because it is inside the premium zone. So going into next week, I want to see how price mitigates this area, then align bearish, then I'll start looking forward bearish continuation to the downside. Wannan area price zai mitigate ɗin shi haka, ya aligning bearish, then I will look for confirmation forward continuation to the downside because there is no way price zai zo ma wannan lows ɗin nan bai pull back ba. Already wannan trendline liquidity ɗin price ya yi taking ɗin shi out already. I had trade around this area when price inverse this fair value gap. There's a fair value gap a wajen nan. So I had I think two trade ba swing trade bane wannan inversion fair value gap ɗin price da inverse na shi. I had trade around here and around here but last week ban trading ɗin BTC ba kwata-kwata saboda me bai ban confirmation ɗin da nake nema ba, which is price coming into this fair value like fair value gap and the supply zone to align bearish for continuation bai dawo ba, it's just sell aggressively. So I didn't take any trade last week. I'm just sitting patiently. So this is all I have for this week weekly outlook, inshallah. Then I think I'm going to do an interweek midweek analysis Shima video and I will send it probably on Wednesday. Yeah, probably Tuesday or Wednesday because I want to like understand how Monday and Tuesday works. Then Wednesday and Thursday I will be trading if price give me what I'm looking for. So for now, this is the weekly outlook, inshallah.